This shit here based on a true story, you know what I'm saying? You ain't gotta believe it. All I want you to do is just listen. Yeah. My cousin based a life 20 plus in his head. When I went to see him, man, this is what he said. They had my cell tap, got me talking to them dread. Call big to somebody snitching to them fade. Man, what I'm thinking next probably be that nigga Craig.
What's up, everyone? It's your boy Thomas, back again with another rendition of Truth Be Told. Nothing major going on again this week, politically wise anyway. You know, we still got retards running the fucking country and whatever, you know. This same old dumb shit. Chicago apparently is having a blast, though, with a bunch of unruly teenagers, mostly from the black community, who will not discipline their kids and let them run rampant, destroying property and shooting people and shit. And they wonder why Walmart's pulling out of that community. I wonder why, you know, maybe because the crime rate's like outrageous, because that's literally what they teach their kids, is how to be good criminals. I mean, it's not hard to see the statistics that prove all that. But anyways, regardless, that's the only big thing I saw in the media. You know, no new mass shootings or anything, so Democrats can focus on another mass shooting story and go after your guns, your Second Amendment rights, you know. None of that, but whatever. Anyways, I did see several articles about remakes or reboots or what the fuck ever you want to call them. You know, I'm about sick and tired of fucking Hollywood not coming up with new shit. They always got to promote the same old shit over and over just so they will milk that title or that name until they beat it with a dead horse to get as much money as they can from it. So they're just constantly remaking shit and blah blah blah. And it's not even shit that's from like 40, 50 years ago or whatever. It has to be shit that's from like 10 years ago or 10 to 15 years ago. I mean, shit that's fairly new still. And they want to reboot or remake it. Like, I saw that they're going to do a whole reboot, a whole remake, and start all over again with the whole Lord of the Rings trilogy. And they're going to make it a TV show. Oh my gosh, you know, did they not learn from the Rings of Power that how bad of an idea that is? They lost billions doing that Rings of Power. But whatever, we're going to try it again on HBO Max. Let's see how that works. Get the fuck out of here. Now, we're going to do a remake of Harry Potter. Let's just start the whole thing over. Throw some gay people in there with, you know, black people instead of white people. Because we got to be diverse. Get the fuck out of here. So, it's going to be Harriet Pooter, fucking a black Hermione, and, you know, gay fucking, Ron. I mean, or trans Ron, whatever. Oh, it's just fucking stupid. That shit's gonna bomb so bad. But whatever. Apparently they're gonna remake illegal Illegally Blonde, I think it was called, with Reese Witherspoon. They're gonna redo that fucking shit. They're going to try to reboot or remake Stargate. Now, they promised us a huge online game of Stargate, like WoW and shit like that, but they've never gotten around to doing it. I don't know why, because it's an easy concept. I mean, you've already got all these worlds you can gate to and shit. Plus, you could have spaceships and all that shit. I mean, it's a no-brainer, but apparently they can't get that fucker to come out like they've been promising this entire time. But if they do a reboot or a remake or whatever, I'm okay with that to a degree. I just don't know who they would get to cast, but it's probably going to be some more diverse, woke-ass cast, you know. That debacle they did with the whole Kathy miniseries, I think there were like 3 movies, like Amazon did 3 movies of Kathy, you know, the woman whose daddy found the Stargate or whatever, and it bombed. Nobody liked it, but whatever, as long as it don't do something like that, I don't know. We'll see. I'll see how they're going to do redo the whole Stargate thing. I think they should just continue on, but anyways, like maybe they finally find the 4th race, or was it the 5th race that they never, the furlongs or whatever the fuck they're called. They never did fucking find them. You know, something like that. But they're also going to do, apparently, the D&D movie, which was trash, flopped so fucking hard. I mean, it was bad. It flopped. But anyways, that's because they did it wrong. They tried to do this woke D&D shit, and nobody likes the woke D&D crap. Nobody. But anyways, they're going to do a TV series, I believe, on Amazon. Or is it? You never know. Maybe it's HBO Max. I don't fucking know. But they're going to try to do a TV series, a D&D TV series. Now, they had a cool concept from the director of and writer of the John Wick movies. And it sounded badass. They were going to do the whole Drizzt Do'Urden, which is the most famous fucking elf in fantasy in the books from Forgotten Realms. He's a huge fan favorite. He's in all kinds of fantasy shit in video games and books and shit by R.A. Salvatore. But apparently they scrapped that and gave it to this fucking jerk off who made one movie that did really well on Netflix that starred The Rock and Gal Gadot and fucking Ryan Reynolds. It was called Red Notice or something. I never even watched the fucking thing. I don't care to. But they went and gave it to him instead. And he knows nothing about Dungeons and Dragons. Not a fucking thing. Oh my god, these people are stupid. Had a perfect idea for a TV series. Do the Drizzt Do'Urden stories from the books. Everybody would be hands-on with that shit. No, we gotta give it to this jerk-off who knows jack shit about Dungeons and Dragons and has one movie that made a success on Netflix. Yank, 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 yank. Fucking stupid. But whatever. Hollyweir's retarded. There's some more remakes and shit that they're fixing to do and come out with. I'll get back to you on all those as well. But I'm tired. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm tired of these fucking remakes and reboots. Especially if shit that's only been from like 10 or 15 years ago. Like the Harry Potter shit. That's fucking retarded. So what I really want to talk to you about is I just got done watching Shazam a couple weeks ago or whatever. Shazam. So I don't know a shit ton about the comic book character. I do know a little bit. I know he was once Captain Marvel, but then they stopped making him for a while, and then Marvel picked up the name and started calling their character Captain, well, it's Marvel, but Captain Marvel. So they basically stole the name. And then when DC tried to come out with Captain Marvel again, they got in this big old lawsuit, so they changed his name to Shazam. Now, if you've seen the first one and you watched my video where I talked about the first movie, I thought it was a little too early to introduce the Shazam family. I was like, man, why are they doing that right off the bat? Why are they doing that? Because he's Shazam or Captain Marvel for quite a while before they introduced the Shazam family. But anyways, I thought it was a little early to be doing that, but whatever. They had this whole thing of what they were going to do with the Shazam story. They eventually was going to introduce Black Adam into it. But first they were going to go and introduce the 9 realms or whatever. These other worlds or whatever. But they decided not to do that. They tossed all that aside. And they went with this bullshit with the fucking Sisters of Adam crap. Or Atlas, or whatever the fuck his name is. I don't fucking know. I give a flying fuck 2 cents about this shit. Who gives a fuck about these fucking Sisters of Atlas? Nobody. And that's why, one of the reasons why the movie flopped. So the story goes that you have these 3 Sisters of Atlas who created this staff, which is the wizard staff that stole all the powers of the fucking Greek gods. And they were in control of it. Blah, 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 in their realm. Give me a fucking break. Anyways, yeah, they bring back the wizard. Bring him back. And there's no magic in their realm. So they're pretty pissed off. They kind of, just all of a sudden, out of the blue, they've had all this time to do it. But once the wizard gave Shazam the powers, they decided to come and fucking take his shit and retake the staff. I'm just like, okay, whatever. Because he broke it and alerted them that he was there. I was like, give the fuck off. So they show up, try to take the staff. A lot of shit happens. The family gets a little fucked up. They're all whining and having a big drama party amongst themselves because he wants a superhero team and they don't want to do the superhero team. They all want to do their own fucking shit. You know, they're ungrateful that he gave them powers and shit. All kinds of fucking dumbass drama family drama crap. And in the end, you know, they basically saved the day. Fucking kill off 2 of the sisters. The 3rd sister, which looks like a teeny bopper, who likes this, the crippled kid or whatever, part of the family, his best friend or whatever, Billy's best friend, who's like 9,000 years old, is now in love with him, and blah blah, they get together, yada yada. She's the only one left. She kind of helps rebuild her realm with the tree of life, blah blah blah, which they encounter, which helps bring magic to her realm. Of course, the only god left to do that, because they all thought Billy was dead, is Gal Gadot, you know, Wonder Woman, which is actually a demigod, because she's the daughter of Zeus. She comes in there and fucking, you know, raises Billy from the dead, you know, towards the very end, and gives the wizard back the powers of the staff. It all ends well, that goes well, blah, blah, blah. That's pretty much the end of the movie. Now, you do have an after scene, post-credit scene, where that stupid fucking, you know, James Gunn, his fucking wife, shows up and asks him to join the Justice Society. I'm like, why are you still bringing in the Justice Society? They no longer exist. It's just the Justice League. So I don't know what he's going with that. But supposedly she asked him, Shazam, to join. And he thinks that she's trying to get him to join the Justice League. And she's like, no, I mean the Justice Society. He's like, what the fuck are you talking about? Who are they? Blah, blah, blah. That's because they're old school. They're way before the Justice League. They don't exist anymore. But whatever. James Gunn's trying to bring back the Justice Society, which is fucking retarded. But who cares? That's the post-credit scene, and that's the end of the movie. It was dumb. Really dumb. So, Shazam flopped hard. It was a dumb movie. I didn't care for it at all. I was really pissed off that they didn't go with the original plan so they could lead up to the Black Adam. But apparently James Gunn has gone woke and fucked all that shit up. And he's always been woke. So I don't know why Warner Brothers asked him to lead for the DC. Because all his shit looks like crap. Ain't nobody want to watch it. And of course he's got to have get his wife some fucking, you know, a job. So he's got to come up with something, show for his wife and shit. And, it's just fucking retarded. He's fucking all that shit up. And it's just gone. I didn't like the Snyderverse because he was way too dark with it. You know, it shouldn't have been that dark. It needs to be more like the 80s movies. And they're not doing that. They're going way off the rails with the woke shit. And they're just fucking it all up. You know, who knows? The Flash movie, we already know it's going to be woke as fuck. The only good thing that seems to be coming from the Flash movie is seeing Michael Keaton as Batman again. The best Batman ever. But whatever. Anyways, we'll see how things go. But I guarantee you James Gunn is fucked it. Fucked it. Shazam 2. The first one's not bad. This second one sucked. Terrible movie. Alright. You can watch it if you want. I'm one of those that gotta see it for myself to tell you if it's any good or not. I saw it and I didn't like it. That's just my opinion. And there's many reasons why. But anyways, moving on. Let's get on to your B-movie reviews. Alright, movie holics. This week is Horror Week. Now, I went with a couple older movies from the 80s. I just, when it comes to horror flicks, I'm real big on the 80s horror movies. Some of the 90s was okay. But anything after 2000, I'm not a big fan of because it's usually the same shit. It's some type of slasher, ghost, or zombie flick. And they've just gotten old. They do the same shit over and over again. They can't think of anything new to do. So, the 80s is where it's at. That's the greatest decade ever. But anyways, I think this is a full moon feature. Don't quote me. I think I saw that it was full moon. I can't remember when I watched it. It was done in 1983. It doesn't have any box office numbers that I could find. And this was originally a French film, and then it was brought over here in like 86. It released over here in 86, I think, by Full Moon. But originally it was a French film. And it's called The Alchemist. It starred Robert Gentry and Lucinda Dooling, I think, is how you pronounce her name. But anyways, basically, the story goes, you had I guess you would call him an evil magician. It doesn't really state or say so in the movie. Back in the 1800s, or 17 or 1800s, he tries to kidnap or steal this guy's wife. He was obsessed over her. He thought he was in love with her, so he wanted her for himself. Now, this man went to confront him with her standing there next to him, over like she's been taken over by a spell or something. She's glassy-eyed. He tries to kill the magician, but ends up killing her instead. And then the magician puts a curse on him that until he gets his bride, the guy will live forever in torment as an animal by night, or some crap like that. So basically, it gives him the disease of lycanthrope, where he basically turns into a werewolf at night. But he doesn't say that. He just says he'll turn into an animal by night and live forever until he gets his bride. So the evil magician's actually stuck in a time loop. And every so often, like at some point in time, at the time of midnight or some shit, this portal opens up and these two demons try to come out and find his bride or some shit, and they've got like an hour or so to do so, and then the portal closes again, and it's supposed to do this until he gets his bride, blah blah blah. So apparently lots of time has passed. You have this woman who basically looks like his wife, and now it's the 80s, and she's driving on a dirt road, and she starts having visions of what happened to this guy and his wife. Now, she picks up a hitchhiker. He thinks she's nuts, but he thinks she's really good looking, so he sticks with her, even though she almost kills him a couple of times on the road by trying to run the car off the road because she's having visions. She eventually runs the car off the road into this area on this road out in the middle of this forest, out in the middle of nowhere. and he follows her to this guy's hut. And this guy meets him, and he notices her and tells her who he is and where the hut is, that they can't be out at night. It's getting late. So they follow him back to his hut. They meet an old woman that cares for him. It never shows him turn into a werewolf or anything like that. All you get is, you know, animal sounds and shit outside the cabin that they go to or whatever. Eventually he tells the story of what happened to him and his wife, because she mentions that she's been having these visions or whatever. And come to find out, the old lady that's caring for him is actually his daughter. She's grown up, blah, blah, blah. But everything's explained. And then all of a sudden, they try to get out of there. It's late at night. They take his truck. He lets them go. And the portal opens up at midnight. Two demons try to attack him out in the woods. They end up not getting very far in the truck, and then they're out in the woods, and they take her, or one of them takes, no, well, one of the demons tries to take her, and he ends up getting knocked out, killing it, and then she's mesmerized or dreamy-eyed again. You know, her eyes glaze over, and she ends up going to the portal where the magician's waiting, the evil magician. Both the guy who's, you know, got lycanthropy, he ends up going into the portal as well. The guy that killed the demon, he wakes up and he follows her and he goes into the portal. This time it changes. The guy doesn't kill her, he kills the magician instead, or stabs the magician. And then they run out of the portal, and then the portal disappears. The magician dies, gets cut in half by the portal because he tries to stop him. That doesn't work. And then the guy whose dead wife, that she looks like, he ends up withering and turning into old century, because he's like hundreds of years old, so he ends up dying and turning to dust, you know, bones than dust, blah blah blah. And you know, the woman and the guy she hitchhike that she gave a ride to, they leave, and that's the end of the movie. Now, the one thing that really didn't make sense is, you know, if they're from the 17 or 1800s, then why is his daughter, you know, still alive? You know, that made no sense. She'd be hundreds of years old too, so that didn't make any sense. Maybe she conjured up a potion or something and made herself live longer, because she does make some kind of potion or whatever during the movie to try to help him, but whatever. Anyways, it's a real slow burner. I mean, it's slow. It was okay. It was a tragic love story kind of thing, but it was just a lot of not much happened really in the movie. You know, you got a couple of demons that they fought off towards the end of the movie in the portal and the evil magician, but for the most part the movie it was really slow. It was hard to stay awake on, but it was okay. It was just kind of boring. So unless you're really hardcore into uh, horror flicks. You might not like this one. I gave it a thumbs up and a thumbs down. You really have to be in the horror to like this one. Otherwise, it was okay. I'm a big horror fan, so it was okay for what it was. It's just, kind of a long, slow story. All right, moving on. The next one was done in 1980, and it made about 6 million worldwide. It's kind of become a cult classic. I've heard of it. I've never watched it. It just didn't seem like my kind of film, even for horror. But I said, fuck it, I'll just go ahead and watch it this time. And it's called Motel Hell. It starred Corey Calhoun, sorry, and Nina Axelrod. Basically, you have a couple of cannibals that run a motel, and they basically, when visitors come, they or head down the road near them or in their area, they take them out and chop them up and use them for beef jerky. Or smoked meats is what they were doing. Smoked meat. Some farmer's finest or some shit like that. I can't remember the exact name. Something farmer finest or some shit. But this old man, he takes down a couple that's on a bike. One of them is this young woman and an older man. Well, he wants to keep the younger woman around. He kind of sees her. At first, he saw her like a daughter, but then all of a sudden, she's in love with him and shit, which made no sense. She wants to marry him, and they're going to get married, and it got a little weird. There's one police officer who's a sheriff who's like his cousin or some shit. He's in love with the girl. He finds out about the whole marriage thing, goes to confront him, and starts doing some investigating. And finds out his older cousin's a cannibal. So he goes to try to help her rescue her, because he thinks that they're going to chop her up. But no, they were trying to introduce her into the family. The old man has a younger sister who's really demented, who's always eating all the time. And but she's in on it too and helping them out. They do chop up pigs, but at the same time, they're also doing it to humans. They have this weird way of doing it. They have like this garden, they call it the garden, where they take these victims that they capture visiting or on the road, and they plant them in the the ground and feed them and give them, cut out their vocal cords and pump them full of pesticides or something. I can't remember what the fuck he said. Something to do with processing meat or something. I can't remember what it's called. They and then they leave them in there for a while, and then they kill them, and then they pull them out of the ground, and then they chop them up. So it's kind of strange. I don't know exactly what they're doing, but they're feeding them something and pumping them full of chemicals to make them fatter or better or some shit. I don't preservatives, that's what he was saying. Again, preservatives and shit, and then they chop them up and sell them as smoked meat, like beef sticks and jerky and sausage patties and shit like that. And they've been doing it supposedly for like 30 some odd years. Has a big old farm. Anyways, that's what goes on. And towards the end, there's a big old fight between the victims. Some of them get out of the ground and get the others out of the ground, and they attack the chubby chick or the sister and kill her. And then the sheriff or whatever, him and the old man go at it, and he pretty much kills the old man. But before the old man dies, they're all like, oh, we're sorry, blah, blah, blah. They're like feeling this empathy. Him and the girl. It was weird. It's like, this guy just tried to kill you both. And then they're all like, oh, we're so sorry, blah, blah, blah. You know, and he leaves the farm and the hotel to the fucking cousin sheriff or whatever that just killed him. That was fucking retarded. But, I get it. It was a parody. It's supposed to be a parody on horror flicks, so I get they were doing like this black comedy, but it was kind of silly. Now the thing is you see everybody show up at the end of the movie and, you know, take care of the hotel or whatever, but you don't see what happened. You know, why is it that the only ones that were fighting was the old man and the sheriff? Where were the other victims at that took care of the sister? You don't see them helping them out. It was kind of weird. It's like you never see them again. You don't know what happened to them. Anyways, that's the end of the movie. You see the sign at the very end, and it blows up, and it says Motel Hello, but the O keeps blacking out, so that's why it's called Motel Hell. It was okay. It was cheesy and campy. You know, it was a fun movie, even though it was more of a drama than it was a horror. You know, it was just silly in some ways, so it's kind of funny too. I like cheesy and campy. That's why I like 80s flicks. They're lots of fun, and they tell really good horror stories. Whereas nowadays it's just the same crap. No originality. So this movie, 2 thumbs up. It's definitely worth a one-time watch. Even though it's about cannibalism, it's kind of like a black comedy. So it's fairly decent. It's not bad. Like I said, at least a one-time watch. Okay. So if you have anything you want to talk about to me or mention to me, any thoughts about what I talked about earlier in the video, please leave your thoughts down in the comment section down below. I'd love to hear from you. If you have any suggestions, any underrated or B movies you think I may never have seen, please leave your suggestions down in the comment section down below, and I'll get to reviewing them as soon as I can. That's all I have for you this week. So until next time, I told you to be told the truth, and you've just been told.